Okay, this is week 2 for Web 233. This we're going to be going over variables and JavaScript basics. Okay, week 2 podcast. We'll go over what is due and how to do it. This podcast was pre-recorded, so there'll be some dates that are different from this semester, but the content and what you need to do is all the same. So make sure and follow the steps in the podcast for week 2. In the week 2 discussion and exercise, you'll be doing some reading on values, types, and operators, program structure. A couple slides show PDFs. You've already registered for Replit. There is a lab 2 that when you click on this, you'll go to lab 2 and complete it. Okay, for lab 2, let's go ahead and click on this. If you're not logged into Replit, you need to log in to the classroom. Go to week 2. And in this one, you're basically going to be going over the week 2 exercise. Complete the JavaScript exercise to the left. To complete, click the run button. Want to complete, click the submit button here on the right. Run button is right here, by the way. And then in Eagle, you'll just submit done in week 2. This link here takes you to the source file of what this should end up looking like. So number 1 comment, you're going to declare a variable for ID and assign a value for your student ID. Leave the S out. Next comment is display variable for ID using console.log. Third, declare variable name for year of birth and add 10 years. Display variable for year of birth using console.log. Display alert telling everyone good evening RBC. And then ask user how old they are and store it in a variable. Use prompt. And then display variable that you just declared with an alert telling user how old they are. Use a concatenate character plus to do that. All right. Once you're finished, you'll then run it, hit submit. And again, if you have questions or what it should end up looking like, this here will take you to a source file showing you what this should end up looking like. Okay. And then you'll submit done when you're finished with that. Week 3 or week 2 reading on chapter 3 on functions. Make sure and do that. And then the week 2 setup and submit plunk. You're going to be creating a new plunker and updating the index.html to show week 2 Web 233 assignment. Update the script.js with your information about yourself. Instead of spring 2020, you'll say fall 2020. Go ahead and put today's date and then also the assignment number, which this week is 2. You're basically going to create a loop example using looping a triangle. Write a loop that makes 7 calls to document.write and output a triangle that looks like this. If you click on this example, and go to the script.js, I'll go ahead and run it. You'll notice here I just have looping just 2 lines. You will be doing 7 lines. So with the example, you can modify this and start playing with it to see what it ends up looking like till you get the results of this. Okay, once you're finished with that, you'll go to My Plunks, click on the exclamation point, and copy the URL. I'll show you how to do that real quick. I go to My Plunks. I'll just go to any of these here just to show you. Again, you'll go to My Plunks, click on the detail exclamation point, and then copy the URL. I'll go to details. Right there is what you want to copy at the top. It gives you a URL. You share this with anyone and they can run it. I'll do that one more time. My Plunks, the details button, and then whatever the URL is it gives you. That's what you'll submit here for the week 2 assignment. As always, there's a link here on setting up Plonk, I believe it is, and Course Success. Has a video on creating a plunker and submitting it, doing your programming assignments. Make sure to read that. Also, the source control, which shows you week by week examples, which I've already went over. That way, if you get stuck on anything, there's always source examples to help you. I tell students to, try not to look at the source until you've exhausted all of your efforts and you're trying to complete it and you can't figure one thing out. That's when you want to look at the source. That's going to help you. Week 2 discussion: what benefit does loops have in programming? So that completes week 2. If you have any questions, shoot me an email or text with the phone number here. Otherwise, let's have a great week.